Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I did not hear or I did not read any articles mentioning Russian dignitaries or big politicians, big shots in the Russian government or people in the Russian Duma making statements about assassinating leaders of another country. Maybe it's just me. Maybe did not pay attention enough. But if I was just to mention, let's say, Putin or Lavrov or Shoigu or Pushilin or even that guy, the guy in charge of the Duma, the president, Vadim, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. I couldn't hear these guys. I didn't hear them saying that. But I heard the other ones from the free world not alluding to it, calling for it. I'm going to use two names, and both of them are weasels. So they're not people that would say, at least these guys in their lives held a automatic weapon. Now, I'm not talking about the one that you can buy in a store, a real one. And this is Lindsey Graham, and who's a senator in the United States Senate, obviously, one of the 100 on this, in this country. Very important person, you might say. And then the second one is John Bolton. John Bolton is that guy that wants to bomb everybody. And he's another weasel, and he calls now to assassinate, or at least he's just saying that, but let me read you the article. And when I read the article, we can talk about what exactly this guy said. Just to remind you, if you could not remember what Lindsey said, Lindsey said that Putin should be taken out. Take him out. Take him out. And he didn't mean take him out for a walk or for a date or to take a piss outside like a dog. Take him out in the context of that. Now, he's a weasel. Let's see this guy, and people voted for him, which is not really amazing. And let's see how this guy is doing, Bolton. How can he top that? This article comes from Sputnik, Russian media outlet. It's from today, the 10th of October 2022. And the title is Kremlin on Bolton's threats against Putin. President's security ensured at proper level. So look at that. Let me read it and then you're going to discuss it. So the security of Russian President Vladimir Putin is ensured at the proper level given all existing threats, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Monday, commenting on former US National Security Advisor John Bolton's recent remark. Now, what did Bolton say? Bolton said in an interview, I'm not going to break my mouth, Bolton, that's Bolton for me, okay? Bolton said in an interview with CBS that Putin is a military target. Okay, you can say this is informative. Well, what is a military target? You play ping pong with the target, or you just destroy it. This is informative coming from Bolton, okay? Noting that, and I'm quoting, by using tactical nuclear weapons, Putin signs his death warrant, end quote. Now, to be obviously trying to be, I don't want to say balanced, because once you say you're balanced, you're not balanced anymore. But for me, that is not really a threat. For me, that's this is the next step. This is the consequences that we have to employ on you if you do something. You do whatever you want, but this is the way I'm going to react. For instance, if someone comes, you have an argument with someone somewhere in a parking lot, at a bar, wherever you might have, and a person, it's a conversation far away, so you're certain that that person before it gets to you, you're able to dodge or counter or whatever you do, or just take it if you don't see it. So at least this is if the conversation is escalating, I tell that person, if I have time, if there's time permits, that if you attack me or if you physically touch me, I will defend myself. And I'm not going to tell him how I defend myself. I will defend myself whatever shows up, the position. Because it's one thing when he tries to poke you in the eye, another one he wants to grab you by your balls, the other one wants to punch you in the face, the other one wants to kick you in the chest, something. So you will react differently. But you let the person know that this is going to be your consequence, his consequence of his actions. I think Bolton here is just saying, oh, well, if he's a dead man if he does that. I don't think there's any doubt about that, how should I put it, conclusion or the result or the consequence. Because if Putin will do that, I think these guys will not do anything about it. That's what I think. In a way that they will not bomb directly the Russian army. Because if they do that, then the Russian army could bomb directly. And when I say bomb, I mean nuclear weapons. I don't mean, conventional war. So Bolton, I think he's just talking smack, but what he's talking, not smack in a way that that is false. No, I think that's real what he says. But I think that Peskov took it and the Russians as a threat. I really wouldn't take it as a threat. Now the other guy, the other weasel, what's his name? Lindsay definitely instigated to political assassination. There's no doubt about that in what he said. He must be taken out. How do you say that? What would that be? And that's a different story. Now imagine that, I don't know, Lavrov would come and say that guy would be there, that should be, that one. And again, trying to look at this statement coming from Bolton, imagine that, let's say Russia would say, I don't know, who should that be? Let's say Lavrov, okay? Lavrov would say, well, if United States provides weapons to Ukraine, what's his name? Biden signed what Bolton said. Now, what would that be? How would you take that? Would you take that as I said it before, consequence, or as a threat, or a threat? I think it's right at the border. But the fact that this weasel is talking about that, this is something that it bothers me more than another person that would have, I don't know, more, this. But you see, as I said, I never heard anybody in the Russian leadership making statements like this. But these guys make statements like this, and they think that they're really tough about it. And what's wrong? What? Anyway, I wish them, I don't know, we'll see what's happening with the war and how things escalate. Because the problem here is not, obviously it's not Russia against Ukraine, it's Russia against those guys, NATO and whomever. It's very obvious. It's been obvious from the very beginning. It's been obvious from from before this invasion, or special operation, or however you want to call it. We'll find out what happens, as Putin said. We'll see in the end. Okay, maybe we meet at the end. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.